flashcards for slang words. So I just want to go through a few of those with you guys, because maybe you don't know them either, and I can help teach you how to talk like you're hip. Alright, so the first word is son. Okay, so son, a term of endearment made between male friends. So these pictures are high layer. Yes, if you can ever see them, come see them afterwards. It's two little boys in a sandbox, and the quote used in the sentence is, "Are you digging all the way to China, son?" That's a good one. This one's called salt. Okay, and I'm expecting you guys to actually use these words. Practice them in your small groups tonight. Be ready for school in the morning, I'm telling you. Alright, salt, it says to prevent something from occurring, to impede another person's efforts, to put someone down, insult, or humiliate. And it has two, looks like an elderly couple that are carrying tennis rackets. And it says, "I didn't mean to salt your game, boo." I didn't teach you guys boo yet, so... Okay. Front, that's the next one, front. To put on a false appearance, conceal under pretense, cover up, deny, lie. So it's a dude getting served on an airplane by the flight attendant, and he's saying to her, "Don't front, you and I both know it's just airplane food." Okay, we got a few more here so you guys are prepared. Muggin. Muggin. Okay, that's a good one. Muggin, staring, especially in a malicious or threatening manner. Okay, so a family, nice family of four, having dinner. The quote is, "That lobster is mugging you for reals, sis." In case that didn't make any sense, for reals is actually the next word, so I should have done that before, so that one made sense. Alright, for reals. Truly or really or definitely. Okay, so a lady's on a phone call. She's on the phone. She's talking. She said, she's on a payphone. She says, "For reals, I had to put an actual quarter in it." Oh, reals, son. See, I'm telling you, straight bucket. Okay. No, we have a couple left. Roll deep. Okay. Roll deep. To travel with a large group of people, especially friends and associates, sometimes to appear tougher and more popular than one actually is. So you can use this tomorrow at school. You as well can roll deep. It says in the back, it says there's this lady shaking hands, looks like she just got out of a business meeting. This guy's got his crew, and she's saying to him, "I see that you too roll deep." Okay? Last one, I love this one. Last one is daps, D-A-P-S. Daps, thank you, yeah. Alright, daps is a gesture of friendly greeting similar to a handshake, often consisting of closed fist, hand bumping, either knuckle to knuckle or top to bottom, bottom to top. So on this, it's a lady at the grocery market buying food, and she is going to the checker, and she says daps on the super savings. Everybody give a dap to whoever's next to you. Just give it daps. Daps. Okay. Alright. I literally expect you guys, I expect you to use these words tomorrow. Use them at school tomorrow. Make some friends. Alright.
We both go out and that makes sense.
Oddly enough, those slang cards had absolutely nothing to do with my talk tonight. So, my wife and I like to travel. So a few years ago, we just decided to look for, a couple years ago, we decided to look for a trip. Sometimes we just have a few different places that we want to go in our minds, and we're ready to go on a vacation. We just kind of pick one and see whichever is the cheapest, see if we can make it work. Anyways, so a couple years ago, we booked a trip to Cape Cod. And we were living in Ventura County, Los Angeles area, and we wanted to go to Cape Cod. We've heard so many good things about it. We've seen all the pictures. It just sounds super, super sweet to us, so we booked a trip to the Cape. Well, we got out there, and it was in April, so we're thinking, oh, it's beautiful, it's going to be trees are in bloom. It's a word. Trees are in bloom. flowers are blooming, it's going to be green, it's going to be really nice weather. And we get out there and our flight gets in, we took a red eye, it got in and it was just pouring rain. And it poured rain from Boston to the Cape, which is a good hour and a half in the morning. We drove through some rush hour to get to our place, and we got there, and about 2 or 3 days in, we were driving around the Cape, which we thought was really easy. We're like, oh, let's go to that town and then this one, and then we'll go up here. Because on a map it looks really close, but when you're driving it and you're around it, it's really, really not. And so we were starting to get kind of frustrated because it wasn't what we expected. We had this perfect vision of what this trip was going to be like, what Cape Cod was supposed to be, and when we got there, we were disappointed. We were disappointed in it because it wasn't what we thought. And it wasn't towards the end of the week when we really started kind of appreciating it. But then it wasn't until about a month or two later when we really, really appreciated it. A couple months later, we were like, gosh, that was such a great trip. We really wish we could go on it again. We wish we were back there. We missed it. We missed those first couple days. But the problem is we missed it when we were there. Because what we had in our heads as an expectation never really panned out. And we didn't allow ourselves to just experience it for what it was. This chapter in the book, Crazy Love, is called When You're in Love. And see, love can look different. Love looks different for everybody, for every relationship, and for each of us, love can look different. So, a couple questions to start. What do you love? And why do you love it? Did you grow to love it? Is it something that grew on you later, like Cape Cod? We found out later we really did love it, like we thought we would, but just in a different way? Or was it love at first sight? Think about a relationship, okay? Think about when somebody falls in love with someone else. There's the love at first sight thing when you see, you're like, and you are hooked, and I just saw you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. That's love at first sight. Okay, that's a certain kind of love. But there's also that love. You hear these stories of these people. You hear stories of these people who grow up next door neighbors, or they know each other since they were 5 and they were good friends and all this stuff, and then they realize at about 30 years old, wow, I totally love you. This is crazy, right? And that's how love can happen over a period of time. Here's the similarities between those two kinds of loves. Here's the two things that comes along with both. One, they're both a genuine love because I feel an immediate love or I feel a love that grows over time. And either of them and both of them takes time of being intentional. So if I love somebody right away, I still got to be intentional about that love, whether it's on the spot or whether it takes 20 years. So we've been talking about being lukewarm, we've been talking about serving our leftovers, but tonight I want to just say this. I want to tell you guys to not try so hard. Let me say what I mean by that. Don't try so hard to force something or fake something. But let yourself experience what a genuine type of love is. Seek it out with all your heart and just let it happen, just like love does. Because if we continuously seek for God, we'll find Him, and He tells us that. Maybe falling in love with God isn't an immediate thing for you. Maybe falling in love with God is a process. And that looks different for all of us. But in Revelation 3:20, it says, "Here I am, I stand at the door and I knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me." What's that saying? That's saying God is there whenever we pursue Him, because He is constantly pursuing us. He is constantly pursuing you. It's up to us to pursue Him. So sometimes it's love at first sight, sometimes it's not, but it's a work in progress. But here's the thing we have to remember is that God knows our hearts. He knows if we're trying and He knows if we're faking. He knows if we're truly seeking Him. He knows our motives, or He knows if we're just in love with His stuff.